there they go, running away so I can do my sermon. I hope you're ready for this, because it was a really wonderful set of readings and hymns for today, and so many things fit together and they explain each other that I had to put them all together. Each reading deserves its own sermon, but I love vocabulary. So I started with the word pruned. It means to trim by cutting away dead or overgrown branches or stems, and especially done to increase fruitfulness and growth. Something pruned to stop it from wasting its energy, stop it from being unproductive. And you cut out specifically the parts of the plant that are growing inwards and getting tangled up. That's how you encourage shoots to grow outward and to get the nutrients they need as they head toward the light, to get where they're going, to produce the leaves or the flowers or the fruits that they were designed to make. Now, my vocab obsession kept going and got me curious about this whole idea of what it means to abide. By definition, abide is to accept or act in accordance with a rule or decision, or today we're acting in accordance with a commandment of Jesus. And of course, when you do that, you notice all the other stuff. So some of the common synonyms for abide are to bear, to endure, to stand. It's also to suffer and to tolerate. So today, is Jesus asking us to just tolerate him? I can see how Jesus sometimes can only just tolerate us. It's the best we got. Tomorrow's another day. But the shape of God's pruning knife is love. And he uses that to prune away the things that are growing inward into ourselves, our own wants, our own choices, our own desires. And God can cut those things away so that what we have that is growing, that is healthy, grows toward God, up, grows toward our neighbors, out. Sometimes we just have to endure it. We just have to tolerate it. We just have to get on with it, get it done. Sometimes it's a little more fun. Sometimes it's great to reach out and see somebody say, "Oh, thank you for helping me. I struggled so hard and I couldn't do it alone. You reminded me I'm not alone. We're in this together." There is no solitary grape on a vine. There is no solitary Christian. We are not made to do this alone. We abide in God, and therefore we abide with each other, for good or bad. All Christly souls are one with him throughout the whole wide earth. All of us. We are people of prayer and worship and faith, even when it hurts. Even when we're in that uncomfortable space where we have to remember that Jesus tolerates, bears, abides, endures with us. You might not know this, but we are not easy to live with. I am a difficult person. My family loves me anyway. I don't deserve that. And every time I see my bad behavior, reflect in their eyes as sadness. I know that they're bearing with me, they are abiding with me. And they prune away that little bit that goes inside and says, but I want. Yes, but. We abide with God and we abide with each other. We have to ask, what does Jesus want from me? He's told me today, word after word, reading after reading. Love. God's pruning knife is shaped like love. And we see that very clearly with Philip and the eunuch. The eunuch didn't know what he was reading. The Spirit sent Philip there and said, prune away what doesn't make sense. Clear it up. Make it edible. And the eunuch was so excited, he said, there's water, baptize me now. Wouldn't that be a feather in my cap to have all y'all who are watching this today or any other day call up Trinity Church, Marshall, Michigan, and say, oh, I want to be baptized right now. It doesn't work like that. It could. It doesn't. But it's available. And we have people in our lives who prune us toward God and toward each other. That little bit of water helped the eunuch grow. And he was able to go on bearing more fruit, rejoicing in the Spirit. Philip went on and continued to preach the good word, swept away. Each one is growing toward God. Even though they're growing away from each other, they're growing toward others. And if you have any questions about how the love of God works, take another peek at that second reading. I'm a bit of a geek, so I counted. There are 329 words in that second reading. And if we add the two beloveds to all the other times love is mentioned, there are 29. 29 times the word love is mentioned out of 329. And the word abide is in there also, to stand in faith, to continue to reach up because you have the strength of a life-giving Spirit. Because God's pruning knife is shaped like love, over and over and over again. There are two sentences that don't contain that word. That's a lot of love. And that's hard work. We are not always lovable people. And even though each reading deserves its own sermon, I see those branches twining together. They feed each other. They connect each other. And it's all happening at the same time. It's all happening together. And it blows my mind every time I think that's how God works. There are so many people in this world, this whole wide earth. And God loves each one individually and loves us collectively, whether or not we share that love back to each other or to God. That's a vineyard I want to live in. And I hope that being healthy Christians means living in a church universal where we're all in this together, for good or bad, trying our best to love, allowing that pruning knife to take out what goes inward, what I want just for me, so that I can grow toward the Son, S-U-N and S-O-N, vocab. And I encourage you to reread these readings for today, as well as reading forward into next week. And I hope that you will feel that pain of God's pruning knife, because it will keep your vine healthy. It will keep our vineyard healthy. It will get rid of the things that waste our energy. And I hope the fruits of salvation are grown abundantly in our hearts and in our lives, because that's what bearing much fruit means. Amen.